Another day, another transfer window talk, another war with Sporting. So yeah, it is Gyökeres deal that is the front runner now. With the Madueke saga all done and dusted, he is an Arsenal player now. We'll have to support him no matter what. He is wearing Arsenal jersey. Done. All those chaos, everything, 52 million. It's behind the back for an Arsenal fan. We don't have to care about the money. It's about the club's PSR issues. They have to deal with it. That is done and dusted as long as we get all the players. So keeping that aside, next war comes in Gyökeres. Bring on your thoughts in the comments first itself. Today we have a special guest, which you all guys know on the YouTube fraternity. So it is Football with Ducks channel. I'll add him on the stream so that we will have more discussions and it is gonna be an entertaining one. Yeah. Hi Daksh.
Hello, how are
Hello. Yeah.
you?
All good, all good. So, yeah, welcome to our new channel, so MTA 360. So, if you are
That's good.
not aware, we are doing a regional channel which is called Mallu Talks Arsenal, which
I've
was
seen that.
started.
I've seen that.
Yeah, we have started last year. So, we have just elevated it to the English version because we wanted to, uh, like bring on more English viewers as well as from
Fair,
all over India. So, yeah,
fair.
yeah, first of all, you give a thoughts about your channel. How did you start your channel? Like passionate towards Arsenal or football? What was your journey towards YouTube?
Oh man. So when I started it, the scene was not as filled as it's getting now.
Yeah,
I only remember watching Drogba at that point of time, and two of my very close friends, Manas and Nidhi, had started their own channel at that point of time, Menace and the Monk. And so that point of time, something had happened to their channel regarding some statement they'd made. And so I came onto their channel as a guest talking about Arsenal. And then I remember there was a stream that they did, which was getting all the creators. And they're like, we don't have an Arsenal guy, you come. And
yeah,
I came, it was a very, very fun stream. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do this by myself because people enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And so I think the first season where we had a title challenge
yeah,
was when I decided that summer, I decided to start our channel,
yeah,
start the channel. And, Miss Up, Zinchenko and Jesus and everyone had come, and football was fantastic. So,
yeah.
luckily for me, Arsenal were riding like on a wave, okay? And I just rode that wave and I got like super duper lucky. And that's how I
Yeah,
started the channel.
yeah,
And now, 3 years later, we are here, man,
yeah,
in another Arsenal summer and another Arsenal season to look forward to.
yeah, yeah. To be fair, it's been a hell of a ride for Arteta, I would say. Like
Hmm.
from the start, eighth, finishing eighth twice,
Yeah.
and then just the introduction of Zinchenko, Jesus,
Hmm.
that too before preseason
Hmm.
was the turning point, I would say.
Hmm.
Like as this is the transfer window season that is going on,
Hmm.
the preseason part I am highlighting is because when Zinchenko and Jesus came before the preseason, they were able to gel with the team a lot,
Yeah.
and that helped us perform well in that season. What are your thoughts? That part, just that part,
Hmm.
and then we'll jump slowly to current sagas and everything.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I think one of the biggest positives of that window was, one, we were getting players from a top team at that point of time, which was Manchester City.
Yeah,
If you remember previously, our signings were the Willians and the David Luiz and
yeah,
Pablo Mari, Lichtsteiner. We were getting these oldies and who
yeah,
were like at the tail end of the career, just so we don't like keep on sinking further. We just stabilize at some mid-table level. I
yeah.
think that summer was the first time we actually went for, again, players that were not needed by the top teams, but they were talented players themselves. Like compared to
Yes.
our that time, the crop we had was
Yeah,
there's some very very good players to get in. Um, and so yeah, I think getting them in before preseason, like you said, that was fantastic because they ended up gelling with the squad. We ended up spending more time with them. We understood their play style, they understood our play style. We figured out how we can utilize them. That was
yeah,
the first time we played that new system with Zinchenko inverting and
yeah,
Jesus roaming everywhere. So I think preseason really really helps, and I think which is why. I think I'm also kind of glad that before we jet off to the Asian preseason tour, we've done a lot of our business. There's still some to do,
Yep.
but I would say getting a DM in, getting two DMs in actually,
Yep.
uh, the prospect of possibly signing Gyökeres and everyone else this before the preseason starts, it'd be good. I
Yep.
still think every all of our business would be done with the
Yep.
first week of preseason as well. I don't think we're going to drag this on for too long. We obviously know the merits of an
Yep.
early recruitment during preseason.
Yeah, yeah. So, in my case, like, Gyökeres would be the deal that I want to be
Mm,
finished before the preseason. Eze can wait.
mm,
Rodrigo's maybe, I don't know. It is
mm.
just like 2%, 10% as of now.
Mm,
Like, I'm not completely pushing that out. It
right.
might happen. It might not happen. That is a different case for the left wing part as of now.
Mm.
But Gyökeres is what I want before the preseason to be completed, no matter what. Because
Was he the striker you wanted all along, or were
yeah, yeah,
you like Team
personally,
Sesko?
no, no, personally,
Mm,
in our channel, like the last 3, 4 videos that we did, most of them were like slightly biased towards Esco.
right.
I was the only one who was like saying
Okay.
Gyökeres, because my personal viewpoint in that is simple.
Mm,
Gyökeres will come give a more impactful game this season
mm,
itself.
mm.
Sesko might take time because he's young.
He
He's
will.
a
He will. Yeah.
developing prospect. So,
Yeah.
which which is kind of contradictory for Arteta as of now, because it's been 6 years. We have not won something. This season, he has to win it. No matter what, he has to win either a Premier League or a Champions League.
Mm,
I'm
mm.
not even thinking about Carabao Cup or FA Cup or
Same.
anything. These
Same.
two are the
Same.
ones, either one of that.
Yep.
So, direct impact from Gyökeres is, as of now, is what we want. That's why I'm leaning towards Gyökeres more
Mm.
than Sesko. I don't say I'm not rating Sesko. This is the what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
your point on that?
Yeah. Look, I was Team Sesko because for me, the reason I was very pro Sesko was because I think, yes, you're right. He's a talent that needs to be developed. He is very raw. He needs to be cooked and all. And yeah, he will take time. But I feel in football now, there are some things which are not coachable. And this,
Yep,
this is especially true for physical attributes, right? For example, there are plenty of shorterish players, right?
yep,
But what Messi's center of gravity is, for example. You
yep,
can't coach that. You can't coach
yep,
center of gravity and your ability to move and shimmy and maneuver yourself. Similarly, if you look at Haaland, there is no way somebody that tall should be that fast and that acrobatic. You have
yes,
seen these tall guys who are lanky, who are super stiff and all, but Haaland is just a physical specimen. There should be no way somebody like that should be moving like that.
yep,
It's the same with Sesko. He's a 6'5" dude who should be stiff, who should be lanky and slow, but he's fast, he's acrobatic. And I think the reason which really attracted me to Sesko was you can't coach these things. The rest of the things you can coach. And I think we have a fantastic coaching team to do that.
yep,
But you're right. The pressure of time probably got to us and also probably the price.
yep,
Gyökeres, though, is not a bad option. Like if your plan, I won't even call him Plan B. I think Sesko was Plan A, and this is Plan A2.
yep,
Gyökeres is a really really good shout as well because he is somebody who has a skill set that we don't have in the squad. The primarily of it being he is obsessed with scoring goals. Nobody in our
yep,
team is obsessed with scoring goals,
yes,
by the way. Maybe
absolutely
Saka,
not.
you can say, but everyone
Yep,
else wants to make that extra pass to so that everyone is free right in front of goal and then you can slot it. The
yep,
only person I've seen taken risks when it comes to goals is probably Declan Rice. And you
yes,
don't kind of want that from your midfielder, right? He's the one taking long shots. He's the one taking those direct free kicks and all that stuff.
yep,
Everyone else is looking for that extra pass for an extra cross or to just drive it to a corner and then we'll see and stuff. So Gyökeres is a guy who's obsessed with goals. Gyökeres is a guy who has incredible ball striking and he is driven. Now, I
yep,
don't know how drive and motivation to succeed translates onto the pitch. A lot of it will have to do with the fact when he comes up against the Van Dijks and the
yep,
Tarkovskis, how he manages that. But he is not a bad player at all. He's
yep,
not a bad player at all. So I really hope you're right and we just get
yep,
him in before preseason. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was the kind. Sesko was the
There are
player I really, really wanted.
Yeah, there are two more things that I would add to what you said about
Mm.
Gyökeres. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is, the passion that he's showing to come to Arsenal is
Mm.
a major factor, I would say, because uh,
Mm.
before even we sign a player, the
Yeah,
player should have a passion to come to Arsenal or any other club, for say.
true.
Like the thing that he's driving himself is like rejecting Manus and all those other
Mm.
clubs, saying, I
Mm-hmm.
just want Arsenal.
Yeah.
No matter what, I'm ready to take a pay cut of 2 million. Even that
Mm.
is fine. I just want to play
Yeah.
for Arsenal. That is one biggest thing that I've like. I just want a player to show up. So he'll have that passion from day one, from day one, first minute of the game.
Yeah.
Second thing is the runs that he makes into the boxes.
Mm.
That is what we are lacking from most of the season. So
Yeah.
let's say it's the Martinelli's, he doesn't think before crossing to the boxes. That's the
Right.
truth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even then, when sometimes when he crosses, let's say we have done 10 crosses in the box,
Mm.
no one is there to attend it. That
True.
is the problem that we are facing, which
Yeah.
he, in my opinion, will do it. And
Okay.
like a 70% or a 65% chance of taking a shot, he
Mm.
will take it rather than making it a 125% sure shot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I kind of agree with you in that sense that the runs he makes is not something that we make. Like he's not the sort of drop deep, combine,
yes,
build up, and sort of run kind of guy. I think big reason why people struggle with Gyökeres is, and what I also struggled with Gyökeres initially was saying that yeah, in our current system, this guy really doesn't fit. Our
yeah,
system is slow build up, make it work towards the wings, play across and that, and then you highlight the fact that the guy is not great at headers. All of his goals, he doesn't really score many headers. But then I kind of got to thinking about this, and I was like, do we really want to play last season system again?
yeah,
Which
yeah,
is right. Like, yeah, he's not going to fit into the current system, but then is the current system the one that actually needs to change? And I was like, yeah, this has to change, by because it's slow, it's predictable, and the worst part about last season's system was, which sometimes worked and sometimes didn't work, but largely didn't work, was that it plays on the edge of luck. Now, if you remember from last season, there were so many times when we were just millimeters away from securing a win. And one of the most memorable games in that context is the game we played against Fulham. The game
yeah,
ended in a draw. But if you remember, in the last minute, we played a cross. I think Martinelli played a cross and Saka scored a goal. But
yeah,
Saka was offside by just this much.
yeah,
The problem was that that was one of the few chances we created against Fulham in that game. So,
yes,
if you create few chances in a very competitive game where you should be creating more chances to score many goals, you will always teeter on this edge of maybe we'll fall on the lucky side, maybe we'll fall on the
yeah,
unlucky side. It kind of shows we fell on the unlucky side a lot because we played with these margins so much, which is why we had the incredible number of draws we had last season,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And sometimes you just need skill, you need to take risks, and you need a
yeah,
little bit more luck. When PSGs came to play at the Emirates, nobody imagined Dembele scoring that goal. It was a cutback. He
yeah,
took it first time. There were 8 defenders in the box. The ball beat everyone, hit
yeah,
the post, went inside, and that is how the margins worked in that sense.
yeah,
But if you look at the rest of the game, PSG didn't stop. They didn't play on the margins. They kept
yeah,
creating more and more and more and more
more and
chances.
yeah, yeah,
So I personally believe that yeah, Gyökeres does not fit in last season system, but we
yeah,
shouldn't be hanging on to last season system. In fact,
yeah,
we
yeah,
should be going for a more dynamic system which enables us to create more chances, probably score more goals. And I think which is kind of why we've also gone for some of the other signings we are also linked with. They don't really make sense on isolation, and they might turn people away. Like the Madway case, and some people like, why Eze, where will he play? What about
yeah,
Ethan? I think we're trying to create something different this time, this season. Let's see how it
yeah.
turns out, though.
Yeah, the major part which you missed out, I would say, is the corners,
Yeah.
because we most of the games when we look into it, we were trying to get more corners in
Mm,
certain situations which we really didn't want to create
mm.
such situations. Like when you go to the byline, they were
Yeah.
trying to hit the player to get a corner,
Yep.
the Martinelli, Trossards, and
Hmm.
everyone. So that. that bothered me a lot. Now with
Mm.
Zubimendi coming in,
Mm-hmm.
he's more of a tactician rather
Mm.
than like he will look into, like, he's not like Thomas Partey. I would say he's Thomas Partey
Mm-hmm.
is like kind of a physical plus a turner and then moving the ball, but he would be at times a bit slow. Zubimendi
Mm-hmm.
is not like that.
Yeah.
That is what we lacked in midfield. That
Mm-hmm.
is the reason why Odegaard had to like drop
Drop
deep
deep.
down,
Yeah.
which might change the game style completely. Odegaard might be free on the left, on the right more.
Yeah.
That will give more chances for Rice to make runs, which we
Mm-hmm.
used to do with Shaka,
Yeah.
if you remember that season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is what I am thinking, and that would help the left wingers as well, no
Mm.
matter what.
Yeah.
And with the Essays Madueke, what I was thinking is, if you take City,
Mm-hmm.
they are playing all the games. Look at their bench. Even if
Mm.
you do a substitution, they are having 100 million player as a left wing in the bench.
Mm.
So when you're building a team, it may look silly as of now for Arsenal, but
Yeah.
once you win a trophy and
Mm.
then you have all these players, no one will care about the millions what you're spending on players. You have
Mm-hmm.
a strong bench, you have a strong side, which can like even the bench players can start. That
Yeah.
is the level that we are planning to build. Hopefully, like these players live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on like that kind of a scenario Arsenal is thinking about?
Yeah. Look, I think it's a very important lesson we've taken from last season that injuries can completely destroy us, and injuries can happen in clusters out of nowhere whenever it wants. Um, if it's kind of funny that two of our very pivotal seasons got derailed by injuries, and the season which we didn't have injuries, we actually went on a pretty historic points total. Like if you remember the first season when against Sporting itself,
Yeah,
Saliba and Tomiyasu went down. That
yeah,
year in the World Cup, Jesus got injured. We had to run our last part of the season with Nketiah leading the line and Rob Holding in defense.
yeah.
Now, from Saliba to Rob Holding, that's a big, big downgrade, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And if you see the last four in the Champions League last season, we had the weakest squad. We were playing Merino up top. At certain
Yes.
points in the season, our front line was Sterling, Nwaneri, and Merino.
Yeah.
Um, our bench, like you said, had Gower and Sweet and Salah Eddin, basically
Yeah.
16, 17-year-olds from the academy. Nathan
Yeah.
Butler, Oyadeji is your
Yeah.
striker backup in case Merino gets injured. And
Yeah.
so it sort of shows you that we had no business reaching the places we reached last season as well. But it's a very important lesson to take because Havertz is a pretty robust guy. He played every minute, I think, last season.
Yeah.
Saka's a pretty robust guy. He's ready for 90 minutes any point of time.
Yeah.
But I think last season, what we kind of realized that they will break down as well.
Yeah.
Like Shaka, we always were like Shaka never gets injured, and if he
Yeah.
gets injured, he comes back soon. But these players will break down as well.
Yeah.
And Saka is our most valuable asset. We need to protect him. So I'm
Yeah.
not kind of surprised that we have gone for a backup right wing. I'm kind of surprised we went for Madueke, but that's also great.
Yeah.
But I think we've learned our lesson that you can't run these players into the ground. If you see, we've come up with two major strategies. One, address the attack. We are probably
Yeah.
on course to sign at least three people, if you include Eze as a forward, not a midfielder. If
Yeah.
we on course to attack three attackers, which we've never done. I don't know when was the last time, to be honest, where we
Yeah.
signed three attackers. The last I remember when we were making attacking signing was signing Lacazette after Giroud, and then when Giroud left, signing Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Um, that is what I remember was the last time we actually focused on the attack.
Focused on,
Beyond that,
yes.
we haven't really focused on the attack. So we're doing that, but we're also building up depth. And we're
Yeah.
building up depth with either young talented players like Mascara,
Yeah.
or we're also prioritizing Premier League proven players or players who've played in the Premier League like Norgard, or you see Madueke, if you see Eze, right? These
Yeah.
guys have played in the Prem, so their adaptation period is going to be next to nothing. Um,
Yes.
so that's also going to be a very, very huge part. So I think, yeah, we've learned our lessons from last season.
Yeah.
We're building a robust squad. We're building a squad jahan pe from the starter to the substitute, the quality drop isn't much. Like Saka to Madueke, yeah, there's a quality drop, but it's not much.
Yeah.
Like, especially if Madueke develops the way I think Arteta hopes he develops, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, if Eze is gonna, since Declan Rice plays for England, he plays for us every single game. If
Yeah.
Declan Rice needs to be rested, maybe
Yeah.
Eze comes in and plays. If we
Yeah.
get Eze, so yeah, it's a completely different kind of player, but the quality drop won't be the same, right?
Yeah.
From Mr. Kai Havertz to Eddie Nketiah, huge drop. Kai Havertz to Mikel Merino, not really a number nine who kind of just worked out somehow. Or
Yeah.
Trossard, again, huge drop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that we're building competition for places, and it's kind of good we're filling out the squad to
Yeah. Yeah.
sustain this long season. It's going to happen.
Yeah, the thing is, most of the players are versatile as well in different positions. I
Yeah.
would say Havertz was not brought in as a striker, to be fair, in the
Yep.
initial stages. We
Yep.
remember
Yep. Yep.
he was like going for the midfield, like supporting
Mhm.
Odegaard or something. That was
Yeah.
his basic plan. Even Madueke, if you take, he can play left and right. Both
Mm.
both sides he'll be playing.
Yeah.
And Merino now he has like proven with the striking abilities, maybe a luck or maybe he's doing
Hmm.
something. We have a long term backup for all these situations.
Hmm.
Once and in the midfield, Merino is there in the midfield as well.
Hmm.
Zubimendi is there, Norgard
Yeah.
is there. Pretty
Yeah.
much our left wing, right, left back, right back. We have Timber, Calafiori, and Ben White.
Miles.
Ben White
Yeah. Yeah.
can
Yeah.
play in the
Yeah. Yeah.
centre back as well. So heard Gyökeres to be sold. That is what
Mhm.
latest news came in.
I don't think that's gonna happen. It's gonna take so much more money to replace him. I don't think we're gonna blow all our money in this one window.
Yeah,
It'll be very interesting to see if Kivior goes for that matter, because
yeah,
I think everyone else in Italy who had previously interest in him, either they're retaining their centre backs or they already signed a centre back.
yeah,
Maybe Juve, but I think Juve are in so many sorts of trouble right now.
yeah,
Um, I don't think they would do it, but it's one to watch. I would be very surprised if we let go of Kivior now,
yeah,
because the only s- defender we have targeted to replace him is Hato, and Hato is going to cost 50, 60. It's a lot of money.
yeah.
I don't
I
think
don't
we'll
think I
blow so much
spend
money in
more
one
on
window.
defense this time.
Hmm?
Not spending. We are not spending more on defense this time. I'm sure
Yeah, I'd be very
we are looking.
surprised actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I've seen with Berta is like linking to players that we want, and we are trying all our best to get it done as well.
Mm.
You're not seeing random links. Let's say Arsenal are looking this player, they are interested in that, and this almost the same positions. No, we are
Yeah.
from the start of this window we have heard Gyökeres or Sesko. We
Mm.
have leaned on to Gyökeres, done. No Sesko
Cool.
news anymore.
Yep.
As is, it is still going on. It is in the advanced stages, is what I'm hearing.
Mm.
Nothing else in that
Mm-hmm.
position or something. Madueke,
Mm-hmm.
it was done in 3 days. Hell
Yeah.
no with Chelsea, so that is done.
Yeah.
Christian Nogard was a surprise for me, but
Same.
thinking about it, it's good. He is a he was the captain
Mm.
with Brentford,
Mm.
similar to what profile Jorginho had
Mm-hmm.
with the experience. He's 31. With that experience, he'll prove
Yeah.
something. Is what I'm thinking. Seeing how he played for Brentford and all. Against Arsenal itself, we know how he used to defend and then make the runs. So
Yeah.
that is one to watch
He's
as a
also a set
backup.
piece monster. He's
Yeah,
crazy at set pieces.
yeah. Nicholas Jovo would love
Yeah.
him
Oh
in set
yeah.
pieces.
Yeah.
And with Gabriel Haynes coming in, I don't know how it's gonna pan out and
Mm.
how once like I don't think once including Zubimendi in the midfield, we are not gonna play the same way we used to play till last season. Is what I feel. We'll be more on to attack rather than the defense part. We won't take time setting up the ball like playing from the back, slowly passing. I don't think so. We will
Mm.
be more robust and fast is what I feel, unless
Mm-hmm.
and until we have a proper left wing. Because Martinelli last season, that is what I have to clearly talk about. Martinelli or Trossard, who will you
Okay.
rather keep for this left wing position? Like we might lose one of them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who would you rather keep at least for 1 year? Like let's say if you don't get Rodrigo, who would you
Mm.
rather keep for one season? Because that is one to talk.
Well, to be honest, if you're not getting Rodrigo at all, I would keep both. But if we have to let go of one, I'd say it's time to let go of Trossard. I think, look, honestly, market wise, Both should be gone. Trossard ain't getting any younger, and this is probably the last time we can make an equal amount of money without a major loss on him. Um, so I think Trossard is probably he was a good servant at the club, yeah, and I'd be like this. He deserves a good send off. I don't think he's going to be plan A or B. He's going to get the cup games or maybe as a substitute here and there. Martinelli, the thing with Martinelli is I feel the way we have coached this team has been detrimental to him. It's not that he lacks talent, he's just hit a wall. And I think one of the biggest reasons that he hit a wall is because he's hardly ever had that support. Now, don't get me wrong, he has his faults. When he's 1v1, he'll not bury the chance, or he'll make a stupid decision, or he'll sky the ball. At the end of it, I still feel there is more upside to him. I still feel players who are loyal to the club are very hard to find. Players
Yeah,
who will stick through thick and thin are very, very hard to find. This guy, when we were giving him a new contract, said, Just give me the pen. I just want to sign right now."
yeah,
Like what we're admiring for Gyökeres, that he wants to play for the
yeah,
club,
yeah,
he
yeah,
wants to do this, he wants to do that. Listen, there are so many players in modern football who, once they realize, like, maybe it's not the situation for me, they force their way out. And fair
yeah,
enough to them. I won't begrudge you because football is a business, as we can see.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but this is not the kind of guy. I don't He might lack talent now, like he's had terrible last 2 seasons,
yeah,
and we might get more money for him. If it's a crazy bid like 80 million, yeah, please, I'll be the first advocate of letting him go.
yeah,
But right now his stocks are so low. We are going to be selling him way below market value. I
yeah,
feel his real worth is going to be something around 60, 65.
mm,
But if we sell him right now, he's probably going to go for like 30, 40. And I think that is a bargain we're giving to somebody else. It's
yeah,
the same. Like, I honestly, I don't think Vieira fits into the system. Uh, but selling him right now, as much as I'm against it, as much as I want it, we'll be making no money on him,
mm,
because his stocks are low. We don't want him. He's not really adapted to the prem. Blah 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 blah.
yeah,
So I would rather let go of Trossard because of the age thing, and I think his contributions will get limited. It's
yeah,
kind of like last season. I think I saw there's a lot of things that Trossard was doing which didn't make sense to me. He was missing the ball altogether. He was
yeah,
getting caught. Like his speed has declined. His finishing is still good, but his
yeah,
speed, contact, everything is like sort of declining. He's getting to that physical hill beyond which players stop. Martinelli, I still feel there's an upside. Until we get crazy money, I think we should hold on to Martinelli and see if in this new system he works. But I think this is his last chance as well.
yeah. The advantage of Martinelli is his defensive work rate, and the like what
Yeah,
he does.
yeah.
The thing that lost from Martinelli is because of selling Shaka is what I felt a lot from
Mm.
long time. Because
Hmm.
when Shaka was playing, Shaka used to do the dirty work of running, taking up the ball up front, and then let Martinelli do his things by running into the box, and he got more chances
Yeah,
to shoot, and he didn't have to run with the ball for a long period of time.
yeah,
Didn't have much things to do. So that is the season where he scored more goals. I guess 15 goals. I guess he scored in that
yeah.
season. That once Shaka left, that flair for Martinelli in the left wing or for Arsenal got lost.
Oh, 100%. A thousand
Yeah,
percent. You're 100% right about that. But this is where I am saying, look, if we want to be an elite team, we should not be like, yes, like I just advocate for Martinelli. Where Martinelli is at fault is that you cannot be such a one-dimensional player that your true potential is unlocked based on who else we are playing and what they are doing for you.
yeah,
Top players, whoever
yeah,
they might be, make things happen for themselves. And if they can't make things happen for themselves how it used to happen for themselves, they will find new ways to make it happen for themselves.
yeah,
um, to his credit, he's found his utility in being somebody that also tracks back, defends. He's crazy. The guy runs and runs and runs and runs, but unfortunately even he broke down last season. Do you remember preseason he got injured?
yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah,
he broke down last season. So like I said, you're right. When he had less dirty work to do, so to speak, and he was the guy who was closer to goal, running. Look, like we spoke, he has some attributes that none of our players have. The closer you keep him to goal, I feel the better he will be. He is one
yeah,
of the few people with true speed in our
yeah,
team.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Everyone has strength. They have carrying, but they don't
Yeah.
have space. Gyökeres,
Yeah.
if he comes, will have pace. Madueke will have pace.
Yeah.
Martinelli will have pace. That's three people only we have with pace.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Odegaard, not really the quickest. Havertz, not really the quickest.
Yeah.
Saka, he's skillful. He's decently quick, but he's not the quickest.
Yeah.
Um, Same with Rice and same with our fullbacks. Like if you think about our fullbacks, none of them are actually like what Hector Bellerin used to be, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we
I
don't
felt
really.
something related
Mhm.
to Hector Bellerin with Calafiori, but his defensive. He's fast and he runs, but the defensive like drop down goes slow. That is the
Mm.
same with Sinchenko. I felt
Mm-hmm.
because when they go into the box, coming back to your position was their mistakes that I
Yeah.
felt.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of Timber, he's not that fast, but he carries the ball front with his physical attributes
Yes.
and his
Yes.
skills,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he makes the run back as well to his
Mm.
position to track
Yeah,
back that
he's
player.
he's he's a terrific
Yeah,
defender, man. But yeah,
and
yeah, which is why I was
yeah,
saying
go
I
ahead.
think Martinelli just is one of the few players with attributes, which is we need him to start making solutions for himself. He's also one of the few players who can actually play center forward if we ever coach him into it. But that's for another discussion.
Yeah. So that is about Martinelli, like because we initially heard about Martinelli being coached as a center forward by Arteta initial phases. We have
Mm.
not seen him play much there
Mm-hmm.
yet. And let's talk about our young player Venieri for a like
Mm.
quick few words because
Yeah.
that player deserves to be at Arsenal for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But do you think would it be rather good to send him on a loan for one
Mm.
year, extending his contract because
Mm.
he's demanding for a game time? We want to keep him, but current situation, I don't think he'll get that much game time in Arsenal. So would it rather be best to send him on a loan
Mm.
with one of the teams to get more game time, more experience, and bring him back, and
Mm.
then utilize him, or you want to utilize him in more in the midfield, substituting Odegaard whenever it is needed?
Yeah. So here's the thing with Manari. Like you said, he deserves to be here for a long, long time. I think he's a super duper talented player. Um, of course, it's no surprise Chelsea when he was signing his first professional contract. City were also involved in trying to like get him away.
Yeah,
You're right. We do need to either decide between sending him out on loan or keeping him with the team. I, when you talk about Nwaneri, you kind of get two schools of thought. One, he was not utilized at
yeah,
all last season, or not utilized well, or not managed well because he wasn't given enough game time, which has some merits. I won't say it's a completely correct thing. But what I stand is we managed him as best we could.
yeah,
Look, I think in terms of teenagers, only four players have more minutes than him, and one of them is Miles, and that was because Miles was playing left back, and that was because our left backs were injured.
yeah,
With Nwaneri, his problem is uh, if he wants to be an eight, the person who was in front of him was the captain,
yeah,
who, for all intents and purposes, is
yeah,
basically the coach's eyes and ears on the pitch.
yeah,
And the other one was Saka, who, until he fell down himself and got injured himself, Nwaneri didn't see the pitch. Now, yes, people are right to be bothered if we don't give him game time, his development will stagnate. Very legitimate concern. But
yeah,
development also stagnates in another way, which is if a player gets injured, if you overplay them.
yeah,
Now, people often forget there was a time when we gave Nwaneri a run of games,
yeah,
and we gave him, I think, 4 games in a row. And by the third game, I think he injured his hamstring.
yeah,
Sterling also injured himself during the same time around training. So we didn't have any right wingers. We
yeah,
had to play Trossard right wing. I remember this somehow
yeah,
in the middle of the season. Hamstring injuries for a young player is very devastating. It's what kind of happened with Reece James for a while. And his development also stalled for a
yeah,
bit. Arsenal and young players injuries, we've had plenty of PTSD with this, by the way. When you
yeah,
talk Wilshere, when you talk
yeah,
Diaby, you have Eduardo, you have Ramsey, you have
yeah.
Walcott. You have so many players who had
There's a list of
immense
it.
potential, right? And then you just end up losing them to injury. And we honestly couldn't do it. Of course, some of it was inflicted by tackles and rough play and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
Wilshere, for his, he never ever recovered properly. because he's
Yeah.
always rushing back. He always wanted to play, and by 32 he had to retire.
Yeah.
32 he had to retire,
There. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we kind of don't want with Nwaneri, which is why I'm in the school of thought that we managed him fairly well. Fourth most minutes. Forget about the number of appearances. In terms of minutes, he's the fifth highest teenager in terms of minutes, which is good. मेरे
Yeah.
हिसाब से. When it comes to next season, we do need to start ramping up his minutes. And you're right. I don't think it's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Especially if Eze comes. Now that Madueke is here, his only backup spot is Odegaard ke piche.
Yeah.
Um, and I think Odegaard will start most games. He is always
Yeah.
going to be on the team sheet no matter what. I
Yeah.
foresee very few games where we're like, okay, let's put Odegaard on the bench and start Nwaneri. I don't see that happening.
Mostly in
So,
Carabao or FA, I guess. Most
yeah,
probably.
most likely like that. So I don't know what the negotiation will with Ethan will end up like in terms of playtime. He's definitely signing an extension, but
Yeah.
I think we'll either see him go out on loan. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Maybe the championship, maybe to a promoted team. That I think promoted team would be actually much better.
Yeah.
Um, but again, it has to be the right team. We can't
Yeah.
send him to Burnley, which is a defense intensive first team.
Yeah.
Uh, we can't send him to a promoted team or a team which has a history of being unstable with its managers. Like, for
Yeah.
example, let's say we decide to send him to Watford.
Yeah.
Watford fire their managers every 3 months. There's
Yeah.
no point. We did this with Serge Gnabry, who was sent to Tony Pulis, and Tony
Yeah.
Pulis didn't know how to use him. And we
Yeah.
ended up losing Gnabry for free, and Gnabry ended up being a very good player for Bayern Munich and Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
And so we have to be very careful even when we're dealing with this loan. Like people think loaning is simple. Now we'll just send him, he'll
Yeah.
play, he'll
No.
grow
No.
into
No.
the talent he is, he'll come back and he'll be fantastic. No,
No.
getting the right loan also makes a lot of difference. So we have to figure out where we can loan him. If there are teams who are suitable for him to be loaned out to, they
Yeah.
can play a similar style. Maybe they can maximize his attributes. Maybe the coach and the coaching staff is good to train him. If the training facilities are good, everything. Maybe if it's in Spain, maybe it's in Italy, maybe it's somewhere else. Like how United managed Amad Diallo was fantastic.
Yeah.
Sent him to Atalanta, sent him to Sunderland, and now
Yeah.
when he came back to United, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to Ethan, I think the loan is the forward option, is the best option. But loaning him to the right club is the
Yeah, yeah,
will
that is
that will be the
that
trickiest
is a
bit.
must thing. I
Yeah,
don't think Skelly will be like loaned or something. He'll
no
be
chance.
most probably starting most of the games in the
Yes.
initial phase, at least. I guess
Hmm.
more than say Calafiori
Yeah.
or those likes. So that is one part I wanted to discuss about Venieri. So I am on the same page,
Mm.
either loaning or giving him. So he's still young. He's not yet 20. So
Yeah.
we can manage him by giving him Carabao FA Cups and then some games which are already been won, like let's say 3-0 games or something like that, and 1 or 2 games in Champions League if we have already qualified or something like that. We can manage his minutes, not like he's not gonna get matches as well if he's
Hmm.
not going on loan.
Yeah.
So that part is done. And so yeah, Veneri is not going anywhere. It's just the random rumors or the rage bait that they are
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to get
That's
into
just
each other.
agent talk. Trust me. That's just
Yeah,
agent talk.
so yeah, and the next part is we'll talk about Gyökeres, and I wanna like at the end of the stream we'll check on a different topic which I've not touched in any of the podcast about the
Okay.
captaincy part. We'll
Mm.
deal on that, but before that, let's come to the war situation with Gyökeres. What are your thoughts with the Sporting president doing things? Is it good for them? Is it good for their club, or is it bad for Arsenal, or is it good for Arsenal? What is happening right now?
Look, it's a mess. It's a right mess because the gentleman's agreement Gyökeres had was with the sporting director who is now at Man City. The president denies having that sort of agreement and his agent, and he insists that there was an agreement. This agreement was for 60 million euros plus 10 in add-ons, around 70,
Yeah,
whatever. And I think that's honestly, that's a good price for Gyökeres. 70 million initially, getting a good price for Gyökeres is fantastic. He reneged on that one and he started demanding 80, which was built out of 70 plus 10 instead of 60 plus 10. Okay. I think we have made movements towards their total asking price. We have not decided to go for 70 plus 10, but we said 65 plus 15 and we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
You get the 80 million you wanted. You get 5 more million from us upfront and 5 more millions in potential add-ons. You
Yeah.
go happy, we be happy.
Yeah.
He has decided to stall it, and it's a mess because it's not now only about the money or anything like that. It's also about ego, it's about politics, it's about posturing. We were talking off stream that the sporting president is apparently up for election, so he
Yeah.
can't appear weak that they sold Sporting's crown jewel. They let go of Amarim,
Yeah.
bought a new manager, didn't really work out, fired him, got a new manager, and Gyökeres still performed under all those managers,
Yeah.
whether it's the interim one or it's the final replacement or it was Amarim. And now this guy also wants to go. He wants to go to one club. And if he lets him go for whatever the first asking price for Arsenal was, maybe it looks badly on him that he
Yeah.
didn't fight for the player. Um, and so maybe he's being a little bit difficult. I think we initially in this negotiation held the cards.
Yeah.
Um, I think our tactic was, listen, this is the max we'll go for. And the player only wants us, therefore we will only offer this. If it is a bidding war, sure, we have to beat another club,
Yeah.
but he only wants us. We only want him now.
Yeah.
He has said, I will not return to training and stuff. Essentially put pressure on the president, ki, like, let's not make it an ugly situation, let him go.
Yeah.
What has happened now is we have a self-imposed time that
Yeah.
pre-season se pehle, we need this guy on our plane and he
Yeah.
has to come with us and everything. So now we are actually against a race against time, right? So
Yeah.
suddenly, because of this time thing we have imposed on ourselves, and it's a good thing to impose on ourselves, uh, we have sort of weakened our position as well. Like, for example, when the news started breaking out that we are going to move away from Sesko, it's too expensive for us.
Yeah.
We showed our hand. We're like, all right, now it's Gyökeres or bust.
Yeah.
Okay. If it was, oh, it's Sesko and then it's Gyökeres, and if that also doesn't happen, it's Ollie Watkins, then yeah, we'd have a stronger hand. Ki, like, okay, we want a striker before preseason. We're just going to go talk to Villa about Watkins. You
Yeah.
can keep him. An unhappy player who has publicly declared he's going to play
Yeah.
for only Arsenal. Yeah, you can make him apologize. You can make him do this, but essentially, you have tanked his value.
Yeah.
Uh, he's not probably not going to reach that European Golden Ball winning heights,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to pay him this money. So yeah, but now that we have said, oh, it's only Gyökeres, I think we have weakened our negotiation.
Yeah.
I still think it's bound to happen. Um, we really don't know because since then I haven't really heard Sporting looking for a replacement striker.
Yeah.
Maybe they're figuring that side of their
Yeah.
entire deal out. I don't know. Maybe us giving them 70 upfront actually helps them secure that replacement striker. Maybe that's why they're adamant. There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on who you listen to. Some people will say it's only the structure of the deal, whether it's 70 plus 10 or 65 plus 15. Today morning, some people started saying, no, the final fees is also agreed. It's just now agents and what terms and how many installments and stuff like that is going to be there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like messy, but I think it's eventually going to happen. I think this week will determine whether we get Gyökeres or not.
Yeah.
I'm heavily like in the 90% it's going to happen camp.
Yeah.
But as and when, let's say, Thursday, Friday comes close, I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe it's not, maybe we're not going to do. Now,
Yeah.
online, I see so much panic because people are like, oh no, we don't want, like, just pay the money, don't do this drama, just pay
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
money. And I understand that sentiment because so many times we have tried to pay money, low ball teams, it's never happened and we didn't get the target. Today somebody is talking to us citing, when we wanted Caicedo in January, they wanted some money and we offered only some money. Same with Watkins in January, they wanted 60, we were offering
Yeah.
40, lowballed it. Joan Garcia last season, Edu was apparently thinking we'll get it done in 21. They were
Yeah.
asking 25. Eventually, he didn't ended up going for 30 this
Yeah.
season. So for like 4 or 5 million, we ended up losing out on a very, very good goalkeeper. So people cite that out. But I actually like a strategy, like if you think about what
Yeah.
happened with Zubimendi, instead of paying all that money in one go, we
Yeah.
paid slightly extra but get favorable installments.
Yeah.
When it comes to Eze, we're sort of negotiating it down
Yeah.
from his release clause. You look at Mosquera, His last year on at Valencia, we're trying to get him below his 30 million euro transfer market value.
Yeah.
Um, so we've done this. Like if you look at it, it's not too inconsistent with what we've done, and sometimes it's worked out for us. Like David Raya came on an initial loan to us, and
Yeah.
then we had to pay 30 million. So essentially,
Yeah.
spreading 30 million over 2 years,
Two
and those
years.
30
Yes.
million maybe you have a structure and everything.
Yeah.
So I understand the anxiety because this is the striker we want. We want a striker really, really badly.
Yeah.
But I think once you end up showing कि यार fine, we'll pay whatever you want, like a lot of times we end up doing with Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
If we kind of make it a habit, it's a door you'll struggle to close later on, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think with Gyökeres we set a good precedent that listen, we have a maximum valuation and we will walk away,
Yeah.
and we always have our backups. Even in Mosquera's case, I know for a fact we won't offer more than 20-22 million, and if they want 25 or 30, he's going to go on a free and we will get somebody else who's like Joel Ordonez or anyone else.
Yeah.
But same with Gyökeres, I think we'll have, listen, this is our max, this is the max we can do upfront, because we have other targets, so and so, whatever,
Yeah.
and we're going to move away otherwise. I
Yeah.
think what people are angry about is you're like haggling over 5 here, but you ended
Yeah.
up paying 48 upfront for Madueke. How does that really make sense? It's not really a priority position, Madueke for that matter, but Gyökeres is a priority position. So why don't you wrap up Gyökeres, and then
Yeah.
if you have the funds, negotiate and haggle over Madueke, who's not really, that important. And I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think the timing of the way, like the sort of order of the signings that we have done has really irked people. But
Yeah.
if you flipped the order and if we got Gyökeres when we got
Upfront.
Kepa
Yeah.
and we got I don't know, Zubimendi is the right time, and then we got uh, other players.
Just
Missing
flip it.
football.
Like Gyökeres and then Madueke, no one would have been like most of them would have been fine. Like
Yeah,
50% would have been like if, let's say 90% of the people are like against it now. It would have been a different case when it was
yeah,
Gyökeres first and then Madueke second. Like after that,
yeah,
so we would
yeah,
have had that. And
yeah.
regarding the 5 million thought that you were saying, initially before the basic reports came in,
Hmm.
I was on the same page, thinking
Hmm.
that just 5 million, what is the negotiation that
Hmm.
is going on? Why is it
Hmm.
getting delayed? We wanted a striker. Why is it getting delayed? But once you come to know that it is more than what it was there in the gentleman's agreement, like it is
Yeah,
65 plus 15, we are
yeah,
offering 80. What
yeah,
that is what they want. It does not mean that negotiation does not mean we'll jump on to whatever you say to just get a player. Negotiation
yeah,
means you have to listen to what we have also to do with it. So
yeah.
it's something like a dilemma here,
Hmm.
more adamant Sporting than Arsenal, I would say,
Yeah.
in just case of Gyökeres. But we had given our pawn or the crown jewel, saying we are not going for Sesko, we are not going for any other backup
Hmm.
as of now. We are going for Gyökeres. If we had that part that we'll go for this, they might have fallen for this.
Mm-hmm.
That part, like yeah,
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, look, same. I think, listen, in a negotiation, you try to meet in the middle. That's the entire point of a negotiation. The selling party will try to sell high, the buying party will try to buy low. But I think in this negotiation, uh, we are the only ones inching towards the middle ground.
yeah,
Um, Fair enough if you don't believe there's a gentleman's agreement, but we have offered the final amount of 65 plus 15, which is 80.
yeah,
um, we have inched towards exactly the amount that you want. Now we're
yeah,
expecting you to inch towards the structure that we want.
yeah,
And I think that's fair. Listen,
yeah,
Sesko was 90 million. He was the primary target.
yeah,
Let's not like joke. He
yeah,
was the primary target and he was going to cost 90 million overall. Which, whether it's going to be 80 plus 10 or 83 plus 7, I don't know. But
yeah,
clearly, the overall upfront structure of it was the biggest thing. We are essentially paying 10 million euro less than what we wanted from a primary striker. It's just we want the structure to be a little bit more favorable.
yeah,
At the end of it, I think it's gonna be something like 67 plus 13 or something, whatever. But they have to inch a little bit closer, man. I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry. Uh, we have to set a hard line somewhere. And I understand it's frustrating because people will be like, oh, you went from 60 to 10, 60 plus 10 to 65 plus 15. Why not just go for 70 plus 10? But that's
Yeah,
not how it works, because
yeah,
then everyone else will start fleecing you, right? Like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everyone wants the best thing. Why would you? And that's the thing. We are terrible at selling. We're horrible at buying.
yeah,
Let's, the thing is, we are not the worst at buying. We are decent at buying. And when we buy, we tend to get the good deals. When we
yeah,
got for Odegaard, great deal. And we finally ended up getting 32 million or whatever it was. When it
yeah,
was Raya, fantastic deal.
yeah,
Um, and so, like, same. So we end up getting good deals. Let's not ruin the only good thing about our transfer market. We suck at selling. Everyone knows about it.
yeah,
And so they keep on lowballing us with these loans to buy and stuff like that. Like, I can't understand in what world, if players like Sepp Vandenberg are going for 25 million, we can't unload Fabio Vieira, Sambi Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, all these guys for decent amount of money. So that
yeah,
sucks about us.
yeah,
Buying is the only good thing we do. Let's not ruin that just for social media anxiety. The good thing is our club is very numb to all of these things. They don't
yeah,
care. It
yeah,
is kind of why they went to the transfers in the way they wanted. They were like, this deal is doable. We have the money. We can budget it like this. Okay, fine.
yeah,
Let's bring him in immediately
yeah,
before preseason. The club doesn't care. The club
yeah,
would have seen all the Arteta out social media page or defacement and everything that they saw. They won't care.
yeah,
The This is the best thing about the club, because I understand listening to fans is super important. I'm a fan myself. I want the
yeah,
club to listen to me as well. And there are so many times, like the most recent party incident, that the club obviously fails the fans. Um, but for me, if the fans were in charge of the transfers, we would
yeah,
be having Guendouzi still in the club. We will
yeah,
be having some absolute characters that we do not need in the club. Huh?
yeah.
Uh, you have to trust the club at some point of time and
To be
listen.
fair, Aubameyang would have been here
Yeah.
if like we were the fans dealing with the transfer. So
We
yeah,
so I'm again, fans deserve a voice, fans
yeah,
deserve an opinion, like I am, like everyone else is, like you are, like I am, like so many people online. The good thing is, when it comes to the club, it doesn't cave into the critical aspects of the pressure. The club has its own decision making process. And listen, you and I both want Gyökeres or a striker, whoever, whatever happens. If the club chooses to sabotage its own season by not signing a striker, or it's it has to lay with its own, like, this is the bed you made, you have to lie in it now.
yeah,
If you end up missing Champions League because of it, because another season no striker, it's just on Havertz and Merino, fair enough. You lose money, you lose support, you lose so many critical things.
yeah,
The Premier League is hyper competitive. Chelsea will keep on buying young talents who they'll keep flipping, and Liverpool will buy, arguably, for me, the best signing of the summer in Florian Wirtz. And they're
yeah,
looking to buy a striker, whether it's
yeah,
Ekitike or Sesko or Isak or whatever. Teams are
yeah,
getting stronger. And
yeah,
if you feel that, your decision making process has led you to the conclusion that, okay, maybe this is too expensive for Gyökeres, it's your gamble to take.
yeah,
Fans will eventually disconnect. There will be more discontent. You will have lots of commercial losses. You will have a lot of competitive losses. And you'll be back in a terrible situation where we were a few years ago, for that matter. So
yeah,
I am trusting the club. I will be angry with the club if we don't get a striker.
yeah,
But for now, I think the club is employing a very smart strategy, which is,
yeah.
we have inched towards what you want. Now meet us in the middle, please.
Yeah, one thing is, I guess our selling strategy from Berta, what I feel is he's trying to finish all the primary targets or the incomings, and then after preseason we might try it doing all the selling parts, wherein the team is gelling up together, and the people who has to go will go one by one after the preseason, or let's say
Mm.
during the preseason or
During the
something. That's what
preseason,
I
I
guess.
expect that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting, more of selling during the end of transfer window than buying that time.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. That's what's going to happen. I
yeah,
think we'll get the
yeah,
business done for the people who want, and whoever,
yeah,
like Sambi Wambi, they'll probably leave during preseason.
yeah. Most probably that is the case. Now,
Hmm.
coming back to a major question. So,
Hmm.
I'll put it in two ways. Do you want Odegaard to be our captain? One.
Hmm.
Same question in a different way. Is he the perfect captain candidate in your perspective? Like, let's say, uh, is he the perfect candidate for our captaincy? Next thing is, is it affecting his game style because of the captaincy? These three things. Address that in any way that you want.
Hmm. I'd say when all of us, especially Arsenal fans for that matter, if you think of our captains who have been, you might say Tony Adams, you might say Thierry, um, there was Gallas in the middle, there was Gallas, there was Arteta.
Yeah,
Um, you look around, you've seen Keane, you've seen Shearer at Newcastle, at Chelsea, maybe recently Terry and Thiago Silva and stuff like that. So characters who are strong personalities, assertive, dominant leaders, hard men, you
yeah,
know, that is our conception of a captain. And
yeah,
it's not just in football, so to speak. This is also in cricket. When
yeah,
you think of, for example, if you're a fan of cricket, from Saurav Ganguly to Dhoni, Virat, now Shubman, and everyone.
yeah,
The point is, like, people who are a little bit timid or their leadership does not involve shouting or being physically imposing or being hard men, they are usually very difficult to absorb or swallow as captain. Like, people don't really accept them as captain. They're like, nah, he doesn't play with passion,
yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't do this. And if you notice in every announcement video, whenever the interviewer asks the player, have you spoken to anyone yet? Have you met anyone yet? In the Zubimendi video, they showed him a message from Odegaard.
yeah,
In the Norgard video,
yeah.
they
They
asked
showed him.
him, who did you speak to? The captain Odegaard messaged me first.
Yeah,
I think rather than having a fixed typecast captain, of my captain should be passionate, he should be big, he should be loud, he should be brash, he should be willing to kill somebody if somebody enters a team. Good vision of a captain, not the only vision of a captain.
yeah,
Odegaard, I feel, is a different kind of captain. I
yeah,
think one, what we forget is he was chosen by the players at the club. It wasn't Mikel Arteta who said, "You will be my captain." They
yeah,
had a meeting post Aubameyang, who will be the captain. Everyone decided it will be Odegaard.
yeah,
He and it's again, we had older players than Odegaard at the club.
yeah,
We had Luis and all those. Everyone, like, there were plenty of people who could have been captain. But why is Odegaard captain? When we had a young squad, when we just had the babies, when Gabriel was super young and Saliba had just come in and
yeah,
Tomiyasu was young, Xhaka was the captain, but Xhaka had a falling out. Fair enough.
yeah,
Like, people envision the Xhaka type of person to be the captain, but you know that also doesn't really end up well
yeah. Well,
sometimes,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So the captain is somebody who brings in harmony. Now you can bring harmony through authority, or
yeah,
you can bring harmony through collectivism, which is
yeah,
what I think Odegaard does. He brings people together. He's friends with everyone. If you see him and his now wife, they hang out with Saka, they hang out with Havertz, they hang out with Trossard, they hang out with pretty much everyone. They're on good terms with everyone.
yeah,
And I think that is what we sought in the dressing room. When
yeah,
Arteta came in, he said, when I came in, the culture of the club is gone. It's
yeah,
terrible. It's broken. The spirit of the club is gone. Um, and we did not have natural leaders, unfortunately. Now Rice is emerging as a natural leader. Gabriel is emerging as a natural
yes,
leader, right?
yeah,
And which is why you see when Odegaard was unfit or when he was injured, you saw people like Bukayo taking up the armband. You saw
yeah,
Gabriel taking up the armband. You saw Gabriel Jesus taking up the armband. You saw
yeah,
other Jorginho taking up the armband. So I think the team leader still is Odegaard, and it's not
yeah,
for him being, yeah, or
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
kill you if you don't do this. I think he's the team captain because he is the most harmonious person in the dressing room. He keeps the unit together, and
yeah,
keeping the unit together will get you through a lot of different things.
yeah,
Um, when it comes to what's going to happen if he's not available, I think we are building a decent crop. I think Saka's going to be there. I think Gabriel is going to be there. It won't surprise me if we also start seeing people like Timber
yeah,
and people like Havertz also joining that group. It's not going to be fun, but it is what it is. But I think Rice, Saka, all these guys are in mere hisab se
yeah, yeah,
for leadership. So again, leadership can take different forms. If you worked a corporate job, you've had different kinds of managers.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
managers are complete idiots and assholes and micromanagers and stuff, and they'll ruin your life sometimes. They'll get the work done, corporate will be happy, which is why they're managers.
yeah,
But there are some managers who let you do and express. Their only thing is just get me what I want at the end of the day. They won't micromanage you. They'll probably keep the team together. They'll keep the morale of the team high. You won't feel burnt out. You won't feel pressured. You won't feel harassed and assaulted,
yeah.
whatever. So it's just that he's a different kind of captain. I am happy with him being a captain, especially since the players have basically chosen him to be captain.
Yeah, I am with you on all aspects what you
Hmm.
said,
Hmm.
but the only concern that I am having is he trying to take all the pressure on him during the games?
Mm.
Because most of the games last season, when we checked, he's
Yeah.
trying to like force himself to perform much better to
Mm.
motivate the team, which
Mm.
is affecting his game, is what I felt.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
giving him a free chance without that pressure, he can be part of the leadership group or
Mm.
setting it up. But on a match day, giving it to someone like a Rice or a Gabriel at the back,
Mm.
who can push from Gabriel can push the players from the defensive line, and his
Mm.
he shows the passion all the way, every
Mm.
even if he's captain or not.
Mhm.
And Rice, if you see last time when Partey did that foolish mistake of getting a yellow card, missing the game,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was concerned. He showed that there on the pitch to the player, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And he was transformed to
Yeah.
his normal way in
Mm.
for the rest of the game, and moved on into the next game. But
Mm.
which is what is not showing up in Odegaard is what I felt. I'm
Mm.
trying to think in a way that Odegaard is getting more pressurized for himself
Mhm.
rather than no one is pressurizing him. No player is
Yeah. He's just
pressurizing him.
taking more onto himself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get what you
Which,
mean. Yeah.
yeah, which
Yeah.
is affecting his game.
Mhm.
Without the captaincy, he would be more free. He would show the same passion. Is what I felt.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there's two things. Here's my thing. Do I think Odegaard's a good captain? Yes. Do I think
yes,
there are people in the squad who can eventually be better captains than him? Also, yes.
yeah,
Should he be captain? I still think yes, because I think, like you said, different personalities handle things differently. If that party situation happened and Odegaard was around, or he was
yeah,
the one taking charge, he would probably just drag him away and be like, "Mat kariye sir," whatever. And Rice
yeah,
be like, "Dhakka deke," like, bro, what the hell, right?
yeah,
So different people have different personalities, and you're right. I think all I can also get on board with the fact there are people who can be better captains than Odegaard eventually.
yeah,
I think the reason he takes so much pressure onto himself uh, is because of the fact that he is a silent leader, so to speak. Look, nobody's asked him to be the first man leading the press. He's the one who's pressing.
yeah,
Nobody's asking him to become the first man receiving the ball when we're building up. He does it himself.
yeah,
Um, Nobody's asking him to be the playmaker who will deliver the final ball. That's kind of his responsibility as well.
yeah,
I think one of the reasons he's had a dip in form is because we expect him to do too much. We
yeah,
only keep him in the team because of his despite his limitations, because nobody else can do the other things that he does. If we
yeah,
get somebody who's better on the ball, we'll lose out on the press. If we
yeah,
get somebody who's better on the press, we lose out on build up. um, and if we get somebody who's great at playmaking, we lose probably one or both of the other two, which is pressing and
yeah,
building up. He, unfortunately or fortunately, is the only guy who can do all three things to a very respectable B plus level.
yeah,
um, it kind of ties our hand towards our back, but it also kinds of eliminates the need of multiple players, which is
yeah,
now evident in our transfers. Now we will take him off building up.
yeah,
One less task for him to do, and that will be
yeah,
Zubimendi's responsibility.
yeah,
Um, his job will now be to lead the press and deliver the final ball. But in case, let's say, we think he can't deliver the final ball, it's kind of why we're also getting Eze now.
yeah,
We're all in talks with Eze. I'm not saying Eze and Odegaard can play together, will play together. They can, um, if Rice is rested or whatever, or
yeah,
he can play instead of Odegaard as well, maybe. Although
yeah,
I feel Eze is more of a left-sided player. But
yeah,
the point is, we are recruiting to not be dependent on a single point of failure, which is Odegaard.
yeah,
If Odegaard goes, we had to replace Odegaard ka build up. Uh, essentially, luckily through Partey, because he was available last season,
Yeah,
we had to sort of replace his press by utilizing Trossard and Havertz, which was a
yeah,
disaster for me. And our creativity dipped. It was all Saka.
yeah,
Saka
yeah,
was the one being the creative guy. So to replace one guy getting injured, we had to
yeah,
deputize onto three players, what
yeah,
Odegaard did, which
yeah,
is kind of why he's on the pitch all the time. And it's kind of why he takes it all on himself. I
yeah,
don't think that should be the way, by the way.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah,
look at Bruno, Bruno scores the goals, Bruno Fernandes scores the goals, Bruno Fernandes builds up play, Bruno Fernandes is the creative guy, Bruno Fernandes does everything. It's a
yeah,
miracle he hasn't broken down yet, by the way, or he's not had a dip.
yeah.
Um, but I worry for him as well, which is why I think it's good the way we're going. And I think I don't think, I think it's a sign of an actual leader that you take up much. Maybe removing captaincy, maybe you could be right, but it's, for me, it's a big hypothetical. I think he thrives when people rely on him.
Maybe
He is the kind of guy.
maybe this thought came in because of the like dreadful season all over we had last season.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it might have affected like his downside of the game might have been because of his injury. He might not have recovered properly. That would be another concern last season. So now I guess he's heard that he's completely fit to start properly. He's back up and running. Hopefully, I would
yeah.
wish him good luck in the captaincy part as well
Yeah,
because I want him to perform up to the highest.
yeah.
Thing
And
is,
we should expect him. He's had more good seasons with us than one bad
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And one more thing is when he's not pressurized, have you see if you have noticed when he's not in a pressure situation in a game or something,
Mm,
he takes more shots,
mm,
more powerful shots, and more accurate shots.
mm. Okay.
So
Based on,
when it is a game which is like we require a goal or it is towards a semi final or a quarter final or Champions League situation, he tries not to take a shot rather than that he tries to create a more accurate goal or a 100% sure goal rather than
okay.
taking a 50% or a 60% chance shot. That's what I've seen in
Okay.
most of the games. But let's say a simple example is if you see the PSG game, the first leg and the second leg, plus
Yeah.
if you take the Liverpool game after all the season was done, at the end
Mhm.
of it, he started taking more shots in just that one game compared to these two. That is why I was like thinking
I,
about this part.
yeah, I don't know if I'll be completely on board with that sentiment. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I don't know. From what I remember actually from the PSG game was he actually had a really good shot that was saved by Donnarumma. I don't think I've seen him hit a ball better
Yeah,
than that.
that was in the second leg, right? Compared to the first leg is
Okay.
what like on both legs he had
Hmm.
one shot. I would accept that Donnarumma
I
saved
can I can
other
get
than
on
the
board
game.
that he doesn't take enough shots. I can get bored on that. I can get on board with that. But I would say actually that second leg was probably a lot more pressure than the first leg. What was the
Yeah.
score in the first leg? It was 2-0.
It was 1-0. It was just 1-0. Yeah.
Just 1-0, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
1-0
Only
and then
Dembele's goal.
2-1. It was in total 3-1 in
Yeah.
aggregate, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said, I think second leg was actually a lot more pressurizing, and maybe you're right. Again, I have never really thought of Odegaard as the guy who doesn't take shots in pressure. I do agree that he doesn't take enough risks in pressure situations. He usually goes for the safe option. We can agree on that. I don't know. I think I wouldn't put too much stock on the pressure situation kind of
Yeah.
thing based on his last season, simply because we don't really know. Like, injuries are also physical and also mental. Maybe he wasn't really confident in his shot or his power
Yeah.
and whatever. And maybe he gained confidence later as he went
Yeah.
further away from that injury. But if you remember, like, some crucial games, like, we have this thing also on Arsenal fans, we call it the O zone, which is like right outside the box. He takes a shot, it's usually going into the goal, right?
Yeah.
I remember this goal against Man United,
Yeah.
which he scored, where Rice was the winner. He scored
Yeah.
where United had opened the scoring with Rashford, and almost
And
immediately
uh,
we placed the
Odegaard
ball on
scored.
Odegaard, and he just smashed the ball. So again, I don't know. It's kind of like a hypothesis. I don't think I completely agree, because I don't think I've really thought about it in that way. That's
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Yeah, yeah. It will unfold in the first half of the next season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%,
for sure, it
100%.
will
Yeah,
unfold
yeah, yeah.
because once he picks up, like once he's over with the last season things and preseason
Mhm.
he does well, and then once the season starts in a good note, if say it's in a good note,
Oh, it's a tough
then
start
I
to the
guess.
season, man. It's a tough start to the season, bro.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, I know on paper, if you say with the transfers that we have now and with their situation with the squad and everything, it is a easy and a clear win. But that ends there.
Mm.
It's Arsenal and United, and whenever we have said that it is a easy win for Arsenal and Arsenal squad is much better, we have lost the Arsenal
That's
squad.
the
We
most
have had
dangerous
a
part,
draw.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just compare the same thing. Arsenal didn't have a better squad, and we went and won against United with Aubameyang scoring the winner or
Yeah,
something, or
I
the
remember
draw.
that.
So that's complete different thing. First
Yeah.
game of the season, they will be pumped. We'll be pumped.
Old Trafford, man. Old
Old Trafford.
Trafford. Crazy.
But if we win there, that would be a big boost to the start of the season.
Yes. Considering
And
how
a
everyone
faithful
else
one.
is like gotten easier. That's
Yeah, yeah.
what me feel, man. It's crazy. But
It's
yeah,
a difficult start to the month itself, I would say. Liverpool, City, Newcastle, Brighton, and like I don't know.
crazy.
Yeah,
We'll have
it's kind of
Champions
a
League in the
crazy.
middle as well. We'll have
Yeah,
Champions
yeah,
League there in the middle. We'll have a Carabao Cup in the middle.
yeah,
It's a big, big season.
yeah. Big season. We'll build up to that. Like
Mm.
once start, we'll have one more
Yeah.
podcast before the season,
Hmm.
with all those matches and discussions. Now it's
For
just the
sure.
transfer that I wanted to talk.
Yeah, once
So
we know
it's
the kind of team we have and the kind of team
yeah,
the
yeah.
opposition have, we'll have a better idea, you know. How
And
good or screwed are we?
yeah, and what I would feel is the Emirates Cup would decide how Arsenal will play this season. The thing is, it's not about the cup. I'm saying because,
Right.
but that by that time we would have all our primary targets in the team, I guess.
You'd hope so,
After the
yes. Yeah.
hopefully it would be the style that we'll be playing because Subimendi will be fit to be playing the Emirates Cup before the preseason. We are going to play, I guess, AC Milan and Newcastle, I guess. Uh,
Yeah.
so he'll get to know and gel with the team, and then by the
Mm.
Emirates Cup, we'll know what style of play we are going to play, or what kind of an attacking mode or build a plays what Arteta is planning.
True.
That's what I meant.
True, true, true. You know, 100%. Preseason is going to be interesting because we play two Premier League teams.
Yeah,
Um, in Newcastle, which has a physical midfield and good, tall, strong defenders.
yeah,
Good test for Gyökeres if he comes back in. Spurs as well in a Thomas Frank system, which is going to be more counter-attacking, sitting
yeah,
back. Can we beat low blocks um, of Spurs? And they're apparently making some really good signings as well. So that'll be
yeah,
interesting. Then we face Athletic Club, who again have
yeah,
tall defenders. They have a very technical front line. We're going to play
yeah,
them twice.
yeah,
So that's going to be fun. Last season, we played Monaco
yeah.
in the Emirates Cup and Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, yeah. Leverkusen
Yeah.
was 6-0, I remember.
Oh, I remember. I was in the stadium for that game.
Yeah,
It was fun.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, from the first point which we started on this podcast, they need to get these players in before preseason starts.
Preseason. At least Gyökeres, at least. That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a like that is the line I would say. Not below that.
yeah. Hmm.
Something Gyökeres, and if SA is there with preseason by the
Oh,
preseason,
it'd be
I would
crazy.
say that is great. But
Yeah.
at least Gyökeres.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, it has been a long one and like 1 hour 15 minutes kind of a podcast, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was fun. I didn't even know
Same, same.
yeah. So it was very nice talking to you. Hopefully you enjoyed, and
Of
like
course.
yeah, hopefully we'll do more podcast in the
100%.
future, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
go on a great Arsenal journey. We'll build up, like it's our thing to bring a more Arsenal community from all over India as well as from world. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bring on youngsters should see our podcast, listen to it, and then
Please,
join Arsenal.
please.
Yeah,
We have so few Arsenal creators. We have so few
yeah, yeah,
Arsenal
yeah.
creators.
Arsenal creators are less. More of Arsenal creators are uh, from outside India. I
Yeah,
would say less compared to the Uniteds and Chelsea creators
yeah.
that
Oh
we
God,
see.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody was telling me I bet PSG has a bigger fan base than Arsenal. And I was like, you have no idea. Which is kind of why we need more creators.
I've seen a
Spread
Tottenham
more
fan.
propaganda as well. Uh, So
There is
yeah,
one Tottenham Malayali fan that he comes in our podcast.
yeah.
So, but he's a sweet guy to be fair. So we don't have an option to banter him at times. Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, listen, like I said, there's not a lot. Partly because of how crap we've been post our last title win. There's not a lot of people who have taken interest in Arsenal. In fact,
yeah,
when you tell people that we actually have like the third most trophies in England,
yeah,
people are like, oh,
yeah,
Arsenal? I thought
yeah.
Chelsea. I was like, no,
Mm, no.
Chelsea is way below us. We are above City also. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Uh, but that's the thing. I think it's kind of also important for the team to start doing really, really well, really, really
yeah,
soon, because that's how you gain fans and that's how you
yeah, yeah.
gain a little bit of rep as well. But yeah,
2 seasons, just get one Premier League and a one Champions League in
just
two
get
seasons, and
something,
done, done, done,
man.
done.
Trust me,
Yeah,
man. So have you seen like the turnaround for the love that PSG now gets from
yeah,
compared to like 2, 3 years ago? Everyone
yeah, yeah.
hated PSG. We used to call
PSG,
them
yeah,
PSG and stuff like that. I was like, brother, what a turnaround! And that's
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. That winning changes how people
yeah.
perceive you.
Everything, yeah,
Hmm.
perspective and everything. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll conclude this podcast now. This is not the end of the series. We'll be joining him more. So,
Hmm.
thank you, bro. Thank you
No
for
problem.
joining, taking your time, joining us. Come on, you goodness.
Come on, you Gunners.